Yep, you're looking at a 1GD FTV. That's the Toyota, what people refer to as a 2.8 litre. It's a 2.8 litre D4D in Australia. It came out in sometime in 2015. 25cc engine, quite small, and as many would say it and know it, there's no replacement for cubic displacement. So the question is, who knows of any engine failures in a 1KD? The problem we've got is we're not a Toyota dealer. So all the newer vehicles go to the Toyota dealers. We've got some guys that work at Toyota dealers. They give us a bit of information from time to time. Obviously, we deal with a number of Toyota dealers. But there's people all around the world possibly watching this video. So please tell us, have you seen any engine failures on the 1GD? Yep, just a short video to show you. This is one that turned up at the scrap metal, you know, Sims Metal Recycling. Okay, so it's been through the shredder. It's no longer a 1GD, it's a, who knows what it might be. It could be one of those metal hooks that you pick up in Bunnings that you hang your garden hose on soon when it comes back. But no doubt it'll be some cheap bit of scrap. Now, we're just trying to demonstrate a couple of things. So, in Australia, the 1KDs came out in 2005 in Hiluxes, okay? So, 2005 they came out. Hilux was the biggest selling vehicle in Australia for a number of years, a little bit off and on, but a lot on, and it may even be up there still at the moment. So, selling heaps of Toyotas, heaps of 1KDs. There's definitely a lot more. You got to balance it out, right? There's a lot more 1KDs around than there was ever 1KZs, right? And there's still a lot more 1KDs around than there is 1GDs, okay? So that may change in time, but I speak to a friend of mine. He's got a 2011 150 Prado, right? So that's 6 years after 1KDs came out. He purchased a 150 Prado, nice silver 150 Prado. Look, he doesn't love it more than his wife, but it'd be coming a close second. Anyway, hopefully he watched this video and he has a giggle and and he knows who I'm talking about. But what I'm trying to say is, at that time, so I said to him not long ago, I said, you know, when you brought your 1KD in 2011, had you ever heard of a cracked piston? He said, no, mate, I didn't. I said, right, okay. You sure? Yep, no. So of course you wouldn't go out and buy a Prado, because he does his research. You wouldn't go out and buy a car that's got a, you know, no good lemon engine crack. And you know, there's hundreds of thousands of these even in Australia, the 1KDs, right? So I said, okay, so do you remember what year it was that, you know, and we're sort of like trying to nut it out. And, you know, as a consumer that does a lot of research and on the forums and stuff like that, I think we worked out it wasn't until at least 2012, 13, before the general public started hearing about the odd cracked piston. And that's not to say there wasn't one before that, but, you know, some people say, oh, that's just, you know, you hear about one or two and they go, oh, they're only the ones you hear about. It's actually the other way around. If it happens, you hear about it, because everybody goes crying and whinging on the internet and hits Google and all that when it goes wrong. So you don't hear from people when it's good. It's like the complaints. You only hear the complaints, right? It doesn't. If you've got a complaint, it doesn't mean there's heaps more. There probably could be more, but generally people are quiet when they're happy. Instead of going, oh, mate, you know, that car's great, or that engine's great, and this guy's great, and that girl's great, and everybody, you know, there's not that much positivity when everybody's happy, okay? It's all bad. So when something happens with the engine, that's when you hear about it. So if you're finding 100 cracked 1KDs on the internet over the last 5 years, well, that's probably it. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit. Maybe there's 200. It's not like there's 2,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 or half of them are cracking pistons. We've covered in other videos. We're not going on about 1KDs. We've covered in other videos, completely avoidable and all the reasons why. But 1GD, guys, smaller engine, doing more work, and now there's a new engine, or it's not a new engine really, but you know, whatever, however your story goes, new engine or not, bigger turbo or not, remapped or not, but on paper, more numbers, more power, more torque, blah, 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 maybe it goes better. So if there's an engine at scrap metal, that puts out supposedly 450 Newton meters, which I can't understand it because my right foot says no. When I drive a 1KD, lots of 1KDs, my right foot says yes, 410 Newton meters, but it holds speed better than a 450 Newton meter engine in a car that weighs 400 kilos less. Hang on a minute, let's get that right. 450 Newton meters in a car that weighs 400 kilos less. Doesn't hold speed as well on a hill. Is a car that weighs 400 kilos heavier that's only meant to have 410 Newton meters that's 12 years old. Doesn't make sense, does it? And then you've got the wind resistance factors and all that. Anyway, whatever, just after your experiences. Check it out. So yeah, that's your 1KD. I can't tell, that's your 1GD, sorry, that is a 1GD engine. And I can't tell you anything about it. I don't know any more about it. I just know scrap metal. Scrap metal's all I know. I didn't get the information. I will always be doing my little bit of research, and this is it right now. Who can tell us what problems, we've heard about some timing chain problems, everyone's heard about DPF problems, we're not saying, well, it's a problem with some of them. It's, again, not a big percentage, more than it should be and all of that. We're not going to talk about this and that one. And, it shouldn't happen and people should get looked after. And most people do, but not everybody did. And it's still an inconvenience. But, you got told, mate, don't buy the DPF vehicle. DPFs, manufacturers have been having problems with DPFs for decades. Anyway, moving on from that one, who, I'll ask it again, who is surprised to see the 1GD at the scrap metal? And why? And are you sticking with the 1KD or the V6 last of this, or your 1KZ? All good engines, all got their pitfalls. You know what I like best, but each to their own, because different vehicles, different engines for different purposes. Anyway, bada bing, I'm out of here. Hope you like that. Check it out. $1GD at scrap metal. Guys, just putting a call out. Yeah, bada bing, bada boom. We're out here. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. And yep, it doesn't matter which way you look at it, upside down, back to front, or inside out. It's a 1GD at scrap metal. Anyway, guys, a little bit of information for you on these, and I've mentioned it before, but you may have missed it. On this vehicle, the 1GD, your map sensor is here, okay? Your map filter, same map filter down there, so the grey filter right there, put in the middle of the picture right there. Same deal, needing to clean those out. And there's a lot of pros and cons of this engine, a lot of things to make them lower maintenance, but a lot of things are also going to cause more major repairs in the longer run. One thing that is easier, it doesn't mean injectors are any cheaper or they last any longer. They are, different type of injector, but same, different, same. It's all wear and tear stuff. We'll just have to see what happens with these. We haven't got enough at higher Ks to know exactly where the injectors are worn, needing replacement, and of course those injector seats. So what they've done is they've moved things around, let's just say, so it's all very similar. It's even the same, return line leak back washers, these little suckers, right? But it's all outside the engine, guys. So obviously, clean it all up, blow it dry, make sure it's all clean and dry, and everything out here is a lot more easier to access, like a lot of other diesel engines. So my recommendation, you've got to change those seats. I actually have not had to work on or service any at high Ks, so I haven't really taken any notice, or if it's in the book. So does anyone know, is it in the book anywhere telling you at how many kilometers these seats need to be replaced? Because by rights, if they were recommending it every 40,000 Ks doing the procedure correctly on the 1KD, then the 1GD wouldn't be a lot different, would it? It wouldn't be a lot different, but of course they're not. They're not pulling these every 40,000 Ks. So I'd be recommending it. The life of them is probably going to be somewhere like the 1KDs, around the close to 200,000 K mark in general. So around about when you're probably going to need some injectors as well. Anyway, we'll give it a bit longer. Let's see what happens. But it doesn't matter which way you look at it, that scrap metal, left, right or center, that's what it is. So looking forward to seeing in the comments any information you've got as to 1GD engine problems you've seen. Thanks guys, see ya.